Mhm.
Welcome Satyajit, welcome Jeet. Time we wait for the participants to join in the platform. I have shared the link in the chat box. Welcome everyone. Welcome to this session. We are waiting for other participants to join. Time will wait. Social media platforms and share the link in the chat box. Don't go ahead and start the session in few. Uh, so everyone, till the time we wait, you can also redeem your learning achievement badges till the time we wait for the participants to join. I've already shared the link in the chat box. You can redeem your badges till the time.
Yes, Sumit, shall I start? Yes, Shubh, shall I start?
Oh, Sheetal ma'am, wait, I'll first do the introduction part.
Okay,
It will, it will,
sure,
it will, just give me 10 minutes. I'll do the introduction part and then you can take over.
sure.
Okay. I think we'll start. Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Shubh Parmar, your host for today's webinar. My team and I are here to make sure you have a seamless and engaging experience. If you have any questions or need assistance, feel free to use the chat window. We are here to help. So the topic for today is securing identities with Microsoft Entra ID, best practices and implementation. About the ATC community, this webinar is hosted by the ATC community, a hub for enthusiasts passionate about cloud technologies, AI, machine learning, IoT, open source development, and DevOps. So today's event is sponsored by Synergetics. Synergetics is a leading edge learning solutions provider in India, offering specialized training and consulting services. We empower businesses and professionals to thrive in today's fast evolving tech landscape by delivering transformative learning experiences. Our core focus is on enabling digital transformation through innovative skilling programs, advisory services, and end-to-end implementation support. From modernizing IT frameworks to mastering emerging technologies like AI, cloud computing, and DevOps, Synergetics is committed to equipping you with the tools and knowledge to succeed. These are the learning solutions which are offered by Synergetics, which is persona-based onboarding, onboarding add-on, certification, certification add-on, reskilling, emerging technology training, certification hackathon, cloud adoption, latest technology training, sales pre-sales training, practice playbook, and architecting. This is the Microsoft certification skilling journey. The journey begins with the fundamental certification, then progresses to advanced role-based certifications, and finally to expert level certifications. We run communities on Meetup. This is the emerging technology community. Anyone who are eager to learn about technological knowledge can join this community on Meetup. We have multiple communities in Pune, Gujarat, Nagpur, and Indore. Those who are interested to join these communities, you can log into the Meetup app and gain your knowledge for free. We are thrilled to have Ms. Sheetal Thakre as our today's speaker. She is a certified Microsoft trainer and a consultant at Synergetics. She brings a wealth of knowledge and experience in AI and cloud technologies. The agenda for this webinar is Introduction to Centralized Identity Management, Multi-Factor Authentication, Conditional Access, and hands-on identity management demos. This is the learning plan, which includes one-day webinar, self-learning plan, mentoring and exam prep sessions, and knowledge assessment. As you all know, we also provide a complimentary learning achievement badge, which includes an overview of the module topics which are related to this webinar. You can even share the badge on your LinkedIn and Twitter profile. To get the badge activated, you just need to follow the steps you can see on the screen and redeem your and I've already shared the link in the chat box. You have to follow the code of conduct, which will create a respectful environment for all the participants. Participants, please note, uh, we are not allowed to take screenshot of the presentation and cannot do screen recording. I would also like to take a moment to share some information about the certification workshops we conduct at Synergetics. Uh, the Saturday webinars you've been attending are designed to give you a brief overview and summary of the full course content. However, the actual certification training programs of this courses run over 4 days, and we are currently offering them at a special discounted rate exclusively for webinar attendees. On my screen, you can see the list of in-demand certification courses we are currently focusing on. Don't worry, the start month will be November from tomorrow onwards. For more details regarding this, I'll share contact to one of my colleague, Mr. Vivek Balasundaram. I'll share his contact and email in the chat box. You can connect with him for more details. All right, everyone, it's time for a quick quiz to make a session a little more interactive and fun. We have 5 questions lined up, and each one will test your knowledge of today's topic. Don't worry, it's all about learning, so think of this as a chance to check how much you have picked up. So quickly drop your answers in the chat box after every question. You can see the question number one. Which of the following is a core capability of Microsoft Entra ID? Is it A, B, C, or D? Quickly drop your answers in the chat box. Everyone, please do answer. So yes, B is the correct answer for this question. Identity and access management. We'll jump to the next question quickly. What is the main goal of implementing a zero trust security model with Entra ID? Quickly drop your answers in the chat box. Let's see who knows better. So yes, B is the right answer for this question. Assume breach and verify explicitly every access request. Jump to the next question. Conditional access policies in Microsoft Entra ID helps organization what? Drop your answers in the chat box. Well, yes, B is the right answer. Restrict access based on user and device conditions. Jump to the next question. Which authentication method provides the highest level of security in Microsoft Entra ID? Is it A, B, C, or D? When you guys have 10 seconds. So yes, C is the right answer for this question. Multi-factor authentication is the correct answer. We'll jump to the last question. What feature in Microsoft Entra ID helps detect and respond to risky sign-ins? Is it A, B, C, or D? Quickly drop your answers. I can see very few of them answering. Request everyone to please do answer. It's just for fun, don't worry. So yes, that's correct. B is the correct answer for this question, identity protection. So do follow us on our social media platforms, everyone, to get relevant updates on upcoming webinars, workshops, and certification training we do. I've already shared the link in the chat box to our social media, to all our social media platform. So please do follow and subscribe to our YouTube channel as well. Thank you so much, everyone, for listening to me. Now we'll hand over the mic to our speaker. Sheetal ma'am, you can take over from here. Thank you.
Thank you, Shubh. Sharing my screen. Yeah. Good afternoon, all. Greetings of the day. This is Sheetal Thakre. I will be the speaker for today's session. Securing identities with the Microsoft Entra ID, best practices, and implementation. We start with the brief about your trainer, the speaker. I am MCT, Microsoft Certified Trainer. And I am certified with all the SC series certifications, security compliance series, and mostly engaged with training corporates on the Microsoft 365 security and compliance courses. You will find that those security as well as compliance series, they also have the applied skills wherein a particular topic is explored in depth. You have to go through the assessment also, and you can get yourself certified with a particular applied skill. Regarding the agenda of today's session, we are going to discuss and demonstrate the various features, security features related to the identities, as in MFA, multi-factor authentication, whether the self-service password reset can be allowed to the identities, how you can configure conditional access policies, what will be the use of user risk and sign-in risk policies. So let us start with the traditional way of working, wherein you find that most of the people were working from the designated office space. They were using the office network, and everything was supposed to be secure behind the firewall of office network. We say traditional work from office way. You were using the same devices, you were using the same office network, and you were working from the same place in a particular time interval, time period. But then came the era of cloud, and people began to work from home and then work from anywhere. So here you find that people are using different devices. People are using different networks. Maybe someone is working from the cafeteria, someone is working from the, they are on the, they are in some resort, they are working from their Wi-Fi or from different home networks as well. Along with this, you find they are working or accessing the data from anywhere, anytime. So what is common factor here? The place is changing, devices are changing, network is changing. So you find they are using their credentials, corporate credentials, to access the data on cloud, corporate data. So that remains same. So this will be the identity. And now when you say that you are working from anywhere, anytime, identity will be the control plane. Initially, you said that network is the control plane. Everything is secure behind the firewall of the office. But now identity is important. That is acting as the control plane for the security. The guidance provided in the form of zero trust principle, that also says that each and every request which is coming to your environment, do not trust it. Assume that it is going to breach the security of your organization. So you verify it explicitly. Check for authentication. even if it is verified, you provide least privilege access. What this means that if someone requires only read or read only access, do not give write or update access. Provide the least privileges and exactly what are required. So these are the three principles of zero trust principle. The zero trust principle is implemented with the help of 6 pillars. You strengthen the security of these pillars, you get zero trust model implemented and more secure environment. So what are these 6 pillars? Identity, very important. Users' devices, endpoints from where they are accessing corporate data, the data they are working with, various apps they are using. Maybe they are communicating with this data, with this app, whether it is going outside your environment. What about the app security itself, infra security, and network security? So these are the 6 pillars which you need to strengthen to implement zero trust solution in your environment. So here you find identity is a very important pillar. Whether identity is important with respective to the zero trust principle only, so you will find that it is also used in the cloud adoption framework wherever someone is moving from on-prem to cloud as well. It is a part of well-architected framework. How they differ? Here the organization is moving from hybrid to the cloud environment. Whereas in case of well-architected framework, organization is already using the cloud environment, but they now want to optimize each and every process. So they are revising their architecture. They are building the well-architected framework in the cloud environment itself. So identity remains a very important part everywhere. So when we want to secure the identities, what are the controls, what are the features, what are the policies related to that? So this is covering all the 6 pillars. So you find related to the identities, which can be a human identity, which can be a non-human, as in it can be the device identity, it can be the identity associated with your application. So only having the identity is not going to provide the security. So you need to provide the stronger authentication method. There can be a single layer of authentication. There can be multiple layers of authentications. So we are going to check on MFA, multi-factor authentication. Along with that, whether the access can be provided conditionally, and whenever user is going to access any resource, so real-time signals can be captured, and whether the sign-in risk can be evaluated. Is there any feature provided by the Entra ID? So we will check on that. When we say that identity is very important part of the security, as everyone is working from different time zones, different devices, different networks. So to manage these identities centrally, you need some tool, you need some way. So Microsoft solution for this identity is Microsoft Entra ID. So this means you make an entry to your corporate environment with the secure identity. How you access Microsoft Entra ID? Entra.microsoft.com. You might have heard about the Azure AD, Azure Active Directory. So earlier you had this IAM management feature included in this portal, portal.azure.com, under the Azure Active Directory. Now it has been revised to Microsoft Entra ID. So in the documentation, you may find reference to the both words AAD and Microsoft Entra ID. Still the features are there in the portal.azure.com. Most of them are similar. You will find 60-70%. All the features can be configured in a similar manner from both the portals related to identity and access management. This is portal.azure.com. This is entra.microsoft.com. The latest one, revised one, dedicated portal is entra.microsoft.com. This portal is performing both infra deployment, infra security, as well as of now, IAM features are also there. So when we say Azure AD, Microsoft Entra ID, these are cloud IAM tools. So what if my organization is not using public cloud? So you are in on-premise environment. So there is this Active Directory, AD, which is the IAM tool for on-prem identities. So can there be a scenario that this organization is partly now shifting to the cloud? So yes, there can be the scenario wherein either this organization has acquired another sub-organization, they are merging, or they are shifting on cloud. So you can have the sync between AD and Entra ID or Azure AD. It is referred by both name. This is the old one, this is the new one. So you can sync them as well. So when you sync AD with the Entra ID, all these on-prem users, they will be able to access cloud resources, and they will also be reflecting in Entra ID. They will be called as hybrid identities. They have access to both on-prem resources as well as cloud resources. The cloud identity provider solution by Microsoft is Microsoft Entra ID. It is the repository of users, central identity provider. It performs authentication, uses the secure protocol to defend against the intrusion. And this is the tool wherein this identity provided by this can be trusted. What functions it is providing? Microsoft Entra ID. It is providing 4 A's: authentication, authorization, auditing, administration. So user who is registered or is created in the Entra ID will be given some login name. Its password will be stored in the hashed format. Whenever user tries to log in, the credentials which are with the Entra ID, they will be verified. Once they are verified, that will be the authentication. Now, even if authentication is done, whether user is authorized to access data, like this is you have your ID card, you enter your office. Office may have some server room or something wherein this area is restricted. So even if you are authenticated, you are inside your office with your identity card, you are not authorized to enter certain restricted areas. That is your authorization. The user is given identity, user is given access. So what user is doing with this identity and access? So what, where, when the user is using this identity and access, record of this is auditing. Whereas maintaining this everything is the administration, right from creation of user, giving password, resetting password, giving access, removing access, that will be administration. So any identity provider or Microsoft Entra ID is providing these functions, 4 A's: authentication, authorization, administration, auditing. So now control plane is identity. How you create identities in your Entra ID. So we go and try to access the portal. So here you will find this is the portal.azure.com. Here also, if you use the keyword either Entra or AAD, you get the Microsoft Entra ID. This is called as the organization or tenant name, tenant ID. And here you get under the manage human identity creation option. How you can create? We will check on. Before that, a dedicated portal, intra.microsoft.com. I have the identity. I used login name, my password, and I am into the Entra admin center. Similarly, you will find the overview. You'll find these views are ultimately the same. These views are same. You go to user and you try to create the identity. With the proper permission only, you will be able to create the identities. Each and every task here will be performed if you have the access. So if you check on here, roles and administration or admins you have. User administrator can manage all the aspects of users and groups, including resetting password for the limited admins. So you proceed with user administrator and you will be able to create a new user. We say that this is the multiple test users might be there. Net new test user October 25. Here you find nickname is populated, derived from the user principal name UPN, or you may change it as well. Display name. Apart from this, you want some display name, that is possible. I have just reversed the sequence. About the password, either auto-generated, you will be able to copy, or you can give your own password also here. As soon as I started typing, it is giving me few instructions. What should be the format of password? So this is the Microsoft's inbuilt password policy, which says that new password must have 8 characters. New password must contain characters from at least 3 out of lower characters, upper characters, number and symbol. So that is the Microsoft's password policy you need to follow. Once you give the password of your choice or maybe auto generated, whether you want to allow this account to be identity to be active, that option is there. What will be the use case here? Suppose someone from the employee onboarding HR is creating the 3 employees are supposed to join in the first week of November. So maybe today the person who is in charge of employee onboarding, they are creating their identities, but they are in the disabled format. Once the user who are going to be the employee report and join the organization, their accounts will be enabled. So that way you can use it. If this user is found in some non-compliant activities, in that case also you need to disable the user's account. So that can be the another use case for this feature. What other options you have? Properties assignments related to the user. What properties it is talking about? Related to the naming. First, last name, user type is member. Related to the profile, job profile. You don't find they are star marked, whether they are mandatory. So maybe later on you can update them. Usage location is important because whenever you will be assigning the license, they will be getting access to the services, and different services may vary depending on the region. Regional, there may be a difference between the services available. So whenever you want to assign the license to the user, it will ask you to set this usage location for the user. So this is important. Any role you want to give user, add to any particular group, that option is possible. Maybe you can go with the reader's role. Again, reader's role vary whether it's a directory scope, whether it is related to reports, security, Teams reader in the Teams admin center. That option can be given. And then you review and create the user. Review the settings, create the user. So now we have login, credentials, user is there, and we have this October 25 test user. And we have password attached with the user. So user can now log in. What about the access? Whether we have assigned any role to the user. So we have assigned, click on this user, assign role. So we have assigned directory reader role to this user. So now this is taking care about access. Login ID credentials. They are taking care about the authentication. Who is handling authorization, authentication? Entra ID is handling authentication, authorization. Microsoft may be planning to remove the IAM part from this portal.microsoft.com. As of now, you will find all the features, most of the features are common in both of them. But this portal is supposed to be for infra part, as in resources, deploying different resources, VM, keyboard, Azure SQL servers, DB, networking solutions. So maybe depending on the feedback of different professionals, researchers, corporates, they have come up with this new portal entra.microsoft.com. But you will find most of the identity and access management features you can be doing from both of them. Now, authentication is there with the login ID password. Authorization is there with the role. Whether nowadays only authentication authorization is sufficient, because entering the login name and password, that will be just one layer of security. So you require multiple layers of securities, and that is your MFA, multi-factor authentication. So when you talk about the multi-factor authentication, the first layer will be here as the you can enter your credentials and then you can get the challenge for matching some number which is displayed on your screen with maybe some app, Microsoft Authenticator app on your mobile. So generally when you say authentication factors, they can be something you know, which can be the PIN, something you possess, which can be hardware token, software token, or something you are, which can be your biometric. So these can be the different factors which can be used for authentication, and then you will get the access. So multiple layers you are using, more than one layer using, or more than one factor you are using for the authentication. Multi-factor authentication, something you know, PIN password, something you possess, hardware token, software tokens, mobile device on which you will get some number matching, access card, and something you are, biometric, retina, fingerprints, face recognition. What are the different ways of enabling MFA? So there can be per user MFA. One way per user MFA. One to one for a user, you can change it. You can select multiple users, assign this MFA. You can do the bulk operations using the given template. Therein you will say that this is user UPN, unique ID, user principal name, which will be unique, and then the status of MFA is enabled or disabled. You can have the conditional access policies wherein you say that a certain user or group of users or all users, they should access a certain application or multiple applications or all applications after going through MFA challenge. Third way can be security defaults. I will show you all these ways on the portal. Security defaults is a feature in the properties of Entra ID. You can turn on that. It will implement or make it mandatory for admins, some 11 admins, to go through the MFA challenge. For rest of the user, it is recommended, may not be mandatory, but for admins, it will make mandatory. There is MFA registration policy also. So using this also, you can make user enroll themselves for the MFA challenge with the different methods and make the corporate environment more secure. So these are the different ways how you can turn on the or avail MFA facility. We go on the portal and check on this. When you go to the users from the Entra users, either you zoom out, you should find per user MFA, or you select this ellipsis, per user MFA is there. whether the same feature is available. This is entra.microsoft.com. If you go to portal.azure.com with the same credentials, go to the manage users. This is list of user. You find per user MFA is there. Portal.azure.com, entra.microsoft.com. You get the similar view under different portals. Bulk update is there. If I select bulk update, you can download the template, edit it, upload it. What it will have? It will have UPN, and for that user, what status you want, enabled or disabled. What are the different uh, status values? They are by default disabled. They can be other two enabled enforced. What is the difference between enabled and enforced? By default, MFA is disabled. User is registered for this, it becomes enabled. I mean, admin will say that enable this, and then user registers suppose mobile number, then this becomes enforced. So these are the states. From this enforced, you can disable it as well. So you find in this portal, by default, it is disabled. Whatever test user we have created, I had created one user, right? This one, October test user. If we search it, here, if we search it, it's not giving me option, some outage or something is there, I guess, with the portals. If I select this is disabled. I have the option to enable this. Whether multiple users I can enable together. So yes, multiple users also I can enable together. I selected only one, I say enable. If your user do not regularly sign in through the browser, you can send them to this link to register for MFA authentication. So aka.ms MFA setup. They have to go to MFA setup so that they will be able to register. So we enable MFA for the user October 25. So you find it, this status is now, initially it was disabled, now it is enabled. The user is supposed to go to the incognito, log in with the credentials, and start with the MFA setting. it may ask me to change the password. Let's keep your account secure. If you go next, it is saying go for the Microsoft Authenticator app and you set up yourself for this. So once the user goes through this, the user will be enforced for the MFA. So you'll have Microsoft Authenticator app. In your app, you scan this on your mobile. Microsoft Authenticator app, you scan this. The user is onboarded. Go for the challenge. I am using my mobile device. You have successfully set up your security info. So using Microsoft Authenticator app on your mobile, now you are going through the MFA challenge. It is asking me to reset the password. Once it is done, what we will do? We will check the status of MFA for this user. So we go to this and we refresh the portal. So you find now this is enforced. The user will have to go MFA challenge now. Whereas for rest of the user, it is disabled. So these are the three stages. Can I select this and disable this? I can disable this. So disable, enable, enforced, and then again you can disable it. And from disable, again you can enable it. If you go to the user's account, you find under the security information, sign in methods for the user. These are the methods you use to sign into your account or reset your password. Password is there, which can be changed from here. What is this location? mysignins.microsoft.com. Authenticator app, push MFA notification. There is one screen also you get on your mobile. We found you logged in. Is it you? You say yes. Or you simply, they ask you whether you want to allow the access. You say allow. So that is a different kind of Microsoft Authenticator way of providing you the security. But more secure is push MFA instead of just allow or read. Now it is also telling you that these are the ways you will use to reset your password. So this MFA is a prerequisite for SSPR feature, self-service password reset. Why this is the prerequisite? My email ID can be exposed and anyone will try to reset it if this password is also leaked. So there should be some another way of authenticating the genuine user. So that way will be the mobile phone that user is carrying, or is there any other sign-in method available? So how you will find that multiple sign-in methods can be added here? So if you go to the Entra portal and check on the authentication methods, you find that these are the different policies which you can enable in your environment. You just have to select any of this policy and avail it. So if I say QR code, I'll say QR code and allow this. Save this. So this will reflect in my environment. It depends on you whether this method should be available for all the users or selected group of users. So group also you will be able to select from here. There is only one group in my demo portal. Whether you want to exclude anyone, if you say you have selected all, but from security perspective, we say that break glass account should be there. At least one account in case of emergency, when everyone else is getting locked out of your tenant, there must be one account which is not having any kind of restriction on that account and it should be able to log in. So break glass account can be excluded from here. What should be the length of QR pin lifetime? So those settings are configurable. Now you go to the what we have seen here, that these are the methods you use to sign into your account or reset your password. So what is reset password feature? Reset password feature is self-service password reset. Either you are allowing for all users, selected users, or no one. When you say no one, admins will be responsible for resetting the password. So you have user admin, password admin roles who will be able to take care of this. Go to roles and search with the password administrator. Can reset password for non-administrators and password administrators. So this user will be able to reset the password for all the non-admin users as well as password admin users. User administrator you find resetting the password for limited admins. Whereas help desk admin you find reset the password for non-administrator and help desk. So all the users, help desk can reset their password. All the users in the sense non-admin, password admin can also change their password. And user admin, limited one. So either admin can reset or you allow under password reset. Maybe selected user, you need to create a group of selected user, add it. How you create a group? Go to the groups, new group. Security group we will proceed with. We say that this is self-service password reset group of type security. Same thing in a descriptive manner you should write. Add 2-3 users here. I will add myself as the as the owner of this group, and you may be adding a test user, newly created user here. 2 members are there. We create a group. Go to all groups. Now you got SSPR security type of group created. If you go to password reset, select a group, check whether groups are discoverable. So you can select SSPR group. And now these users only will be able to reset their passwords. For resetting password, MFA is the prerequisite. So you will be able to save this. Wait for the notification. Password reset policy saved. For these 2 users who are included in the group. So check whether both of them are having MFA. Otherwise, whenever they are trying to change their password, they will have to register for the MFA. So I have added this October user in the group. You can go to groups, all groups, security group, check the members. October 25 is there. Now suppose October 25 is trying to sign in the portal.azure.com. We have enabled MFA for this user, right? So whether I get, or maybe I'll change the browser. Changing the browser should be a better option. Let me check quickly. Okay. Now it is asking me to enter the password. If I say forget password, email ID and this captcha I need to enter. This is the email ID and I enter. Many a times, immediately after defining You should wait for 3-4 minutes, refresh your portal, and then you should proceed. Choose a new password. Please choose the contact method we should use for the verification. Approve notification on my authenticator app. So before or enter the code from my authenticator app, it is telling me. So if I select this one and send the notification, I am waiting for notification on my authenticator app on my mobile. Still loading. I got the notification of this. I approve. I am allowed to change my password. So I give the password, new one. It has evaluated it as strong. So I am good to proceed. And I say finish. So the user who is registered with the MFA is able to change the password. Now, which one is the second user here? For October user, we have changed it. Which is the second user? Test user, preview. Now, what is the email ID of this user? We can get the email ID, test user preview, copied from here. Again, I will show you from this users per user MFA, whether for this preview test user, what is the status of MFA? It is disabled. Now the person who is disabled for MFA, if wants to change the password, what is the scenario? We will check on. Now the person who is not having MFA is trying to reset the password. This is the entered email ID for user. Status is disabled. Yet to receive. By that time, we will also check one more scenario. Now, in this group, consider another user who is not included in this group. Which users are there? October and PB user. So the user who is not included here, let us consider the case of that user. And maybe let us from the start SSPR test user we create. We keep the same name for the user and we give the password. And we review and create. So the user is SSPR test. Now we make this user who is not included into the SSPR test. To go and try for reset password. And we check in this scenario what we get. So we get a message that we cannot reset your, you cannot reset your own password because password reset isn't turned on your account. So you have to contact the admin for this feature. How to register your security info to reset your own password. So it will tell you about that my sign-ins, security, authentication methods. But then for that, you should have the MFA and you should be added to the group. So this is how the self-service password reset and the MFA feature work. Here we have seen MFA with the help of SSPR MFA. MFA you will be able to here if you go to the Entra ID and if you go to the licenses, all products, try by, and if you go for the more information on this Entra plan, self-service password change, you find P1, P2, it is included partially. You find there is one more page. Let me check that. There is one table, comparison table, which comes, not this one. It gives you the This one, Microsoft Entra ID free. Here you find self-service password reset is included here. As well, you will find it is included under all the headings. But sharing this, but there is this feature distinction you find self-service licensing options. If it is free, cloud only user password change when a user in the Entra ID knows their password and wants to change it. All are supporting that, all plans. Cloud only user password reset when a user in the Entra ID has forgotten their password. There is no support from the free, go for the paid. Hybrid user, on-prem, cloud, wants to change, reset password. When a user in Entra ID is synchronized from the on-prem using the Entra Connect. Premium editions will support that. Hybrid identity. Whereas cloud only, forgotten password, standard as well as premium. Cloud only when they know their password. So this is the distinction you have. So just now we verified this one. Then it's conditional access. What conditional access will do? It will check the from what device the user is trying to access the resource. Is there any real-time risk involved? From which application, desktop application, browser? What is the location? So in general, Microsoft creates user profile. What is the location, device, general timings, tended all depending on the history of login, logout, what are the timings user is active. So if something is not matching with that, with the certain threshold, the Microsoft technology will say that it might be a illicit user, not the legal one. So conditional access policy will check on all this and will allow you the access with certain requirement of MFA or any other condition, or it may block the access. So that way you can keep your organization's data secure. These are the benefits for the conditional access. We will go to the portal to check on this. What fields you can configure? The users, a single, multiple, all, which resource, under what condition should be accessed. Whether session control should also be there, session monitoring should also be there. So when we said that MFA can be implemented with different ways. So conditional access policy and MFA you can be combining here. So both we are going to check on. Go to entra.microsoft.com and you get or if you are not able to locate, you try to write the conditional access policy. Whether you are able to configure the conditional access policy from this portal also, portal.azure.com. So if you go to Entra ID, here you should be finding security is there. Under security, protect conditional access is there. So when you go to the conditional access policy configuration, it will require P1 feature. Create your own policies with the Entra Premium. So you find conditional access policy is the P1 feature. So might not be accessible to you when you are trying to access from the tenant which is of free. This tenant, if you check on, is under free licensing. I'm sharing my screen to the different environment. By the time this environment is getting loaded, any query do we have? So whether it is available for P1, P2, just now we discussed under different scenarios, it is available. How did you enforce after enabling it? When the user registers, admin has enabled MFA for the user. Now user registers. Whenever user is trying to log in, user will be asked to register. User registers with MFA, that status is changed to enforced. Hybrid identity is you are in the on-premise environment wherein all your the servers, they are your own property. You are not on public cloud. Now you feel that maintaining the servers is very costly and resources are required. So you go on the cloud wherein cloud service provider is maintaining your infra. So you have the users who are in your on-prem IAM Active Directory. Now you want them to access the cloud resources also. So you synchronize your Active Directory with the on-prem Active Directory with the on-cloud Azure Active Directory or Entra ID. So on-prem users are reflecting in your Entra ID, and they have the access to cloud resources. Yes, they will require the P1 or P2 license when they are hybrid or they have forgotten their password. Free, free support. What I'll do, I'll paste this. Yeah, I'll paste this screenshot. So it will be beneficial for you. Check on the highlighted part there. Check on the highlighted part here. All the users will need, all the users will need who will be added to SSPR group. Whether the environment is loaded? Yes. Let us check whether so now let us go to the intra.microsoft.com. Here also you will find in the manage, security, protect. The user is not having the, here we have the problem with the user access. We will check on the user's access. Let us go to the intra. Let us go to the user. Let us search with this user. This is the user. What is the access given to the user? Assigned roles. There are no active assignments here. Can I get any other environment? Let me check. Either license is not there or user role is not there. To assign user role, we should also have a proper role. Then only we can assign role to the user. I am trying to find out the environment wherein we can proceed. Sharing my screen to the. All right. Let us, by the time it is installing or loading this environment, building this environment for us, let us proceed further with the this portal. Now, when I said that multiple ways are there for MFA, one is per user way, another is conditional access policy. One more way is there. If you go to the overview of the Entra ID and you go to the properties of the Entra ID, there is this security defaults. What this security default says? Let me show you. Security default says that security defaults are the basic identity security mechanisms which are recommended by the Microsoft. When enabled, these recommendations will be automatically enforced in your organization. Administrators and users will be better protected from the common identity related attacks. Your organization is not protected by security default. Manage the security defaults. By default, you will find that it is disabled. It is also giving you some statistics that 99.9% of the accounts are compromised because they do not have MFA enabled. So when you go for enabling this and you check about the security defaults in the documentation, you find that conditional access policies and security defaults, they are either or. If you are using security defaults, you cannot use the conditional access policies. And if you are using conditional access policies, you need to turn off the security defaults. So for whom these security defaults are there? For the persons who are new. They do not know how to and where to start securing the organization. And the organizations who are using free tier of the Entra ID licensing. So what this security default will do? If you do not have any conditional access policy, it will secure you. You do not have premium license, it will secure you. If you are not on the legacy authentication clients, security defaults are for you. So what it is going to do, there is the listing of require administrators to do MFA. Which administrators? After registration is finished, following administrator roles will be required MFA authentication every time they sign in. So security default will make admins mandatory to go through this, whereas users, when necessary only, not every time. If the Microsoft feels that the risk is associated with the user's account, then it will make it mandatory for the user. But for admins, it will be mandatory. So either you go for the security defaults or you go for the conditional access policies. So if you have premium license, P1, conditional access policies P1 feature. then you will go with the conditional access policy because more configuration flexibility is there. Sharing this in the chat. So you get this enabled from here. I won't save this. Many a times then it will ask me to go through the MFA. While giving demo, it is quite difficult. If it's a production level tenant, you should go with, if conditional access policy is not there, security defaults. Whether our environment is loaded, yes. So what we will do is, under this resources, we have this is the machine password. With these credentials, we go to the entra.microsoft.com admin credential, admin password. I need to go through the MFA authentication. So I am onboarding this user now. Skip option, it is not allowing me. Match the code. And yes, I have approved. Let us wait. So user is onboarded to the authenticator app. Now this conditional access appears. Why? Because we are having license also. Entra premium P2. So we select the conditional access. And we check whether this user, this one user, consider this user whose password we are going to reset. This is the user add-in. User password is there. Let it be. This is the user add-in. What I'll do, I'll go to incognito and we will check whether this user can unconditionally access say forms.microsoft.com or any teams.microsoft.com, any app, whether it can access unconditionally. So I sign in with the credentials of I change here, I make it Adel once, Adel V, and this user password. This is the password of the user. So we find that the Adel ones can log into Microsoft Form without any condition. So now we come out of this login of the Adel ones and we add a conditional access policy for this particular user. From the conditional access policies, that whenever Adel once wants to access forms, Microsoft Forms, block the access or ask for, we will check on the conditions, MFA or block the access. So we say if the user is not added, allow the access. If the user is added, block the access. So I say this is conditional access policy for added ones to block MS Forms access. So in the user assignment, you can add all the users, group of users or single user. I will say single user. I select this user added. So this one user is added. Name of a policy, user, which resource. So I will say select a resource, a specific resource, which is Forms, Microsoft Forms. So Microsoft Forms appears. We select this and we say that in the access control, rest of them we do not check. We say that in the access control, grant the access with MFA or other conditions, password change, or simply block the access. So I am blocking the access for the added. So block the access for MS form to the added and turn on the policy. Policy is also in the report only mode. It will not take the action. It will log this so you can analyze and check out the impact of this to your organization. And then you can thought about turning this on. So let us now check whether after refreshing in the policies, whether this policy is appearing. Refresh. So we find conditional access, Adel once block MS form access is appearing. Now I go to again incognito after refresh and make this Adel sign. It may take a moment or two for this policy to be up and running. User password. What login we have, what we are accessing, forms.microsoft.com. Only forms we have blocked, nothing else. Now in this conditional access policy, you will find authentication comes first and then authorization comes. So user may be authenticated, but user is not authorized to access. So it is keeping this user in a looping, and it may give the message also. What we will do? We will again enter add once. Here I will modify add once. So it is telling you do not have access to this. Your sign in was successful. So this shows what? Authentication comes first and then comes the authorization. So your sign in was successful, but you do not have permission to access this resource. So authorization is not there. User is authenticated, but not authorized. So when I said that you can enable MFA using this conditional access policy. So how you will enable MFA using conditional access policy? You will say that all the users, but break glass account is excluded, and all the resources. When they are accessing, grant the access only with MFA. So now all the users when accessing any of the resource, all the resources are under the scope of policy. They will be granted access only with MFA. So this is the third way of MFA. First is what? Per user. Second is what? Security defaults. Third is what? Conditional access. And fourth is what? Fourth is identity protection, which is P2 license feature. So you search for ID protection here and you go for dashboard of this ID protection. You find there is MFA registration policy. So this is the fourth way. Either or there is what is there to configure? How many users? Rest it has selected. MFA registration required. You may select all the users, selectively users. You may exclude break glass account. You may select single user, and that MFA policy will be turned on. Let us say for Adele, enable this and save this policy. So Adele will have to go through MFA now. So this is your identity protection P2 feature. So here you will find user sign-in risk policy is also there. All or few of the users, say only user Adele. only user add-in is enabled for, nothing else is there. So what this policy is doing? This policy is using Microsoft's background logic to check whether there is the possibility that this user's credential attempt was made to steal the user credential, whether this is compromised credential, how many attempts were made. If it is above the threshold, this will be like a compromised credential. Risk will be associated with this. And for high risk users, you will find that the access control, you will say block. But if you want to allow, it will always be with the password change. Risk level, high risk, medium, also you can select. Only if high risk is there, then block or require password change. Medium and above, medium and high, require password change. And for all risk level, risk appetite of the corporate, my corporate is 0. So all and above, password change is required. So user may face productivity issues here. And similarly, sign in risk. So what is sign in risk? Real time sign in. Whether signing in from non-compliant device, malicious IP, at 4 p.m. signing in from India, at 4:10 signing in from US. So sign in risk and same configuration. So this is identity protection, user risk, sign in risk, MFA policy registration, P2 feature. Conditional access can be combined here. Conditional access is a P1 feature. MFA can be turned on in your corporate with the 4 methods per user MFA. Security defaults, conditional access policy, and identity protection. You have different methods available for the multi-factor authentication. Now, when I have P2, I get MFA here in my menu. And related to MFA, I get the options to configure authentication methods. So if you go to the service settings, you will find the configurations are related to the MFA settings. Whether you want to allow the app password, skip it from the trusted IPs, remember MFA on the trusted device, for how many days, all that option is there. So yeah, that is all related to the agenda we had for today's session. We are open for Q&A. If you have any query, please proceed. You paste your query in the chat. I will be able to take up your queries. Shift IAM role to Azure IAM role. Can you provide more clarity here, Akash? Azure IAM means on subscription you are talking about a role on a subscription related to the workload. Okay. Okay. You mean your profile and role. So Azure IAM role, that is the AZ series, infra part. So you need SC series is like M365 environment security compliance. AZ series you need to explore for that. AZ 900, AZ 104, AZ 305, and for network AZ 700. Try to explore AZ series. Any other query? Thank you. So I hope that was the informative session. Kindly provide your feedback as well and try to explore this SC series. SC 300 is the course related to IAM. I hope the link is shared in the chat related to SC 300.
Yes, I've already
All
shared
right then.
the link in the chat box.
Yeah.
So everyone, attendees are requested to please to fill the feedback form, and then you can end the session.
All right then. Thank you all. Have a happy weekend all.